This episode of the BJD Podcast is dedicated to the memory of legendary Los Angeles Dodgers broadcaster Vin Scully.
Uploading.
Well, hello there.
How are we doing today, folks? It's a very somber edition of the BJD Podcast. I am Ray. He is Kevin. And Kev, I know you're a huge baseball fan. I am as well. I am more local. You are more national. And last night we got the news that legendary announcer Vin Scully passed away. And I think the intro that you put together today was fantastic. I advise everybody to go and take a look at it either live right now on Twitch at twitch.tv/the BJD Pod. Or you can check our video on demand over at youtube.com. You can just type in the BJD Podcast in your search bar, and you will be directed to our page. We don't have enough subscribers yet to get our own URL. We're hoping that you folks will be able to help us with that. So, Kev, real tremendous loss for the baseball world. Last night, as I mentioned, with the loss of Vin Scully. Anything you would like to say in regards to that?
Well, first and foremost, it's a massive loss to the sport of baseball. He went and said in his retirement speech that he fell in love with the game because of looking at a printed newspaper clipping of the New York Yankees beating the New York baseball Giants 18-4 in a World Series game in October of '34, I believe he said. And that sparked his love of baseball. As a small little redhead kid from New York. He started with the Brooklyn Dodgers as a broadcaster, and he ended up he said that he ended up there for 67 years. He retired in 2016. He was the voice, probably the two, as a baseball fanatic, and a historian of sorts, probably the two best calls are his call of the Kirk Gibson home run, and the call for Hank Aaron's 715th. Which he has been on record to say that was the most important call he made in his entire career. I wish in the tribute video that I could go and include the actual retirement speech, but I probably would hit we will probably hit some type of copyright.
Yeah, we would have
look
some.
it up.
we would have some muddied waters because we don't have the expressed written consent of MLB or the Dodgers.
Yes, you can definitely go and look it up. It's been all over Twitter today. I watched it again and again and again. I watched the Kirk Gibson call. I watched all sorts of his most famous calls. He was also one, some of the more chaotic plays on the diamond, and he just would, like, wrestling terms, he would basically no sell it, like, oh my, yep, okay, that's I'm like, this man's a genius with how he does it.
Yeah, no, he and that's exactly what he did. He no-selled it. There was a half-naked man or woman running across the outfield or going from the outfield to the infield. He just no-sold, and a lot of times he would very much be like, well, that just happened, folks. But he wouldn't tell you what happened in instances like that. So because the one thing you don't want to do is you don't want to draw attention, because you don't, especially once the adult beverages are flowing. If he were to draw attention to it, then somebody else would want to do it, and that's why they stopped showing them on TV when it would happen. Unless, of course, they got just absolutely mollywopped. I remember.
I was about to bring that up. Like, the only time you ever go and see these streakers on, like, TV or anything is when a player or security personnel just, like, absolutely levels them. And that, like, the player or security personnel has been they know it's like, I probably have a higher chance of winning Powerball than to go and actually tackle a streaker. But let me tell you, boy, if I have a streaker on that field, I am going all out. And sure enough, 5 minutes later, here comes a streaker with nothing but a tube sock, and it's like, oh, my time to shine, boys, let's go.
Oh, seriously. I mean, imagine it being a game where you're an offensive lineman and your team's kind of getting throttled and you're frustrated, and then some jackass who has had one too many natty lights decides he's gonna hop the fence, run down. Bro, I don't know about you, but I'm looking at my teammates and I'm looking at the security guys going, putting my hand up in the air going, I got this, this one's mine. And then just running through them. So, like I said, we had baseball world had a huge loss with Vin Scully passing away last night, and we wish his family the best. I do expect the Dodgers to do something for him in the next coming games. But let's get into, we've got a lot to talk about, and in fact, we've got comments coming in right now from Twitch, from the Plague Doctor, the Plague Doctor 73. I don't know why I was trying to put 19 in front of that. He asks, have you had a chance to watch the Triple H Impulsive episode? I'm glad he brought that up because I didn't watch it. I watched some of the highlights. And speaking of highlights, there are definitely some lowlights we want to get into about something else that happened this weekend.
Definitely. But let's talk about the highlights first.
Yeah, let's talk about the highlights from the Impulsive episode. So it's funny that happened because when pre-show, I'm scrolling through the Twitter machine, and guess who pops up? The one and only Vince Russo, bro. However, I will say this.
Bro. I created the Attitude Era, bro.
Listen.
Bro, come on. Like, I created the whole thing. Like, the Vince McMahon character, that was all me. The Brother Love, that was all me. The Undertaker, that was all me. Hulk Hogan was my idea, bro. Bro, it was the best, bro. I had it all, bro.
Bro.
Cue Jim Cornette going, he couldn't go and see the side of a barn if you went and told it was fucking red.
Bro. So just so you know, Vince Russo is still.
Quick little side before you go in, Ray. Quick little side. Yeah, I'm rewatching Dark Side of the Ring on Hulu.
Oh God!
Every time you have an episode with Vince Russo and Jim Cornette on, it's like, whew, I know I've seen this before, but I love these fireworks, baby.
Seriously, and then what? Like sometimes they'll feed it's great when they don't so much do it to Russo, because Russo has, since he left WWE, he found God. He's changed his whole mentality, and you can kind of see that, right? The Russo we get now is not the Russo from WCW, the Russo from TNA. He found God, he found his faith. It gave him a different perspective in life, and he's kind of stayed on that perspective. Jim Cornette, however, anytime they want to get him riled up, well, Russo said that you didn't have a goddamn thing to do about this, and it was all him and Jim and Bruce Pritchard. And
what the fuck do you think he's on?
You would literally.
That bro guy thinks that. Come on, no, he doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. I'm trying to do the best Jim Cornette, but I really
your voice just can't go high enough.
Oh no, it can't. Sorry, these balls drop pretty severely as a child, so my voice cannot go that high.
Did you at least get
TikTok
checked? Anyway, so. But that it was great. You could see Jim Cornette getting wound up. Again, we have more keep the Twitch comments coming, folks. This is great. Plague Doctor again. He said, "My takeaways: Triple H is going to make the WWE bigger than the Attitude Era. Logan Paul is going to be an effing star, and expect a WWE AEW crossover sooner rather than later." Now, there's a lot to unpack in that comment, so let's go to the first part of it, which is of his takeaways, and his takeaways are pretty similar to mine. Triple H is going to make the WWE bigger than the Attitude Era, which is something that Triple H, it's actually the summation of a direct quote from Triple H on the Impulsive podcast that already aired, where he said that he wants to take the WWE to heights and places that it has never been before. Now, he also, in that same episode, said that filling Vince McMahon's shoes is a huge, huge task. So, how do you take the WWE to places that it has never been before when it seemingly has been everywhere and fill Vince McMahon's shoes at the same time? And here is my answer, and it leads into the last point in Plague Doctor's comment, which is a WWE AEW crossover as soon as possible. That's how you do it. You show that there is no ill will, there's no animosity. This is a brand new regime. We are looking to work and make money with our biggest competitor / rival, because that's what AEW is. They're not, TNA is Impact is not on the same level because of that crappy deal that they have with Access. I understand they have the YouTube. I understand they have their YouTube.
They're only on YouTube and they're only on Access TV.
Right.
ROH doesn't have a home right now and is an AEW property at the moment.
Yes.
New Japan Pro Wrestling, the last I heard regarding the product was that they were still trying to find a home.
I think they've got Access as a home after Impact.
Yeah, I think so. But correct me if I'm wrong. Years ago, it was that you're getting episodes from 6 to 10 months ago. There's such a tape delay.
Yeah. The last time that happened, you're correct.
So really, the two major players are WWE and AEW, because they're both on, with WWE, they obviously have the bigger deal because they've been around for so long. Mm-hmm. They're successful. They're publicly traded, mainstream. They're also on two separate billion-dollar deals with Fox, a broadcast network channel, mind you, which means you're in every home.
Yep.
And USA Network, which is a part of NBC Universal, which is owned by Comcast, which is also the home of Peacock, where all of WWE stuff is.
Which is also a basic cable station. So if you have cable, you're in every home that has cable.
It's in every single home, and even those like myself who stream their cable TV through YouTube TV, no free ads. But even I get USA Network. So it's everybody can go and watch. And TBS is another one of those basic cable.
Mm-hmm.
And TNT is another one of those basic cable. And that's where AEW resides, is TBS and TNT. So one of the comments here, let me go and read these next two that just filtered in from Plague Doctor. Paul
Over on
also
Twitch.
said, yep, over on Twitch. Keep the Twitch. Paul also said that the 6-second stories he's had to tell all his life is something that he wants to bring to the WWE world. He wants to lean onto mainstream media and make more viral spots that make you tune in. Also, don't expect a lot of blood.
Now,
So,
can I just take that last one? So the also don't expect a lot of blood. I have been pretty active in some wrestling groups, and they as soon as they found out that there are rumblings of WWE going back to TV 14, they lost their shit. The Attitude Era is coming back, brah! And I'm like, bro, no. Listen, the reason why they went TV 14 is so that they can use rougher language. Don't expect to see blood, because they are a publicly traded company with fucking sponsors. They're gonna have blood. It's gonna be the Attitude Era all over again. And I'm like, no. Because let me remind you of this. Before they had the Women's Royal Rumble, they were going to have a Women's Memorial Battle Royal, and it was going to be named after the Fabulous Moolah. It was not named after the Fabulous Moolah. Do you know why? Because a sponsor applied pressure after finding out that Moolah was not a nice woman. A sponsor applied pressure. I will say it again for those in the back who are deaf. A sponsor of WWE applied pressure to have the name of the Battle Royal changed. Why? Because the sponsors bring in the money for WWE.
Yep. It's like those sponsors, they're the ones that, kind of pay the bills, the sponsorships, all of that. They pay the bills to keep the lights on. You don't want to go and upset those. Now, the Fabulous Moolah thing, was she not the nicest of women? No. But you can also go and make a case, different time, different era, different backup, whatever the fuck you want to go and call it.
Well, if anybody wants to figure out what we're talking about, go watch the Fabulous Moolah Dark Side of the Ring on Vice TV. You can look it up on YouTube. You can look it up. There's some pretty Hulu. Thank you.
Go to Hulu if you have a subscription to it, and you can go and watch.
There are some pretty heinous and despicable accusations.
Yes.
As well as there are some supposed actual first-hand accounts.
When I go and say, it was a different time, a different era, that's one thing. But at the end of the day, Snickers, a major sponsor everywhere. I mean, everybody goes and makes memes and jokes about man, you need a Snickers. You eat a Snickers because you're not you when you're hungry.
Right.
Let me tell you, I'm not me when I'm hungry, so I will go and enjoy my Snickers.
No, Snickers is the one that coined the phrase hangry.
Yep. So when Snickers is telling you, dude, you need to change the name of this battle royal or we're out.
Yeah, and if I'm not mistaken, Snickers was the one that was one of the few pay-per-views that Snickers was the only sponsor for.
They were the one that was like, look, you need to go and cut that name or we're cutting you. And WWE, at the end of the day, is a business like any other in America. And, look, money talks, bullshit walks.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And the middle comment from Plague Doctor over on Twitch, Logan Paul is going to be an effing star. If anybody saw that match against The Miz on SummerSlam this past Saturday, they will agree. If you haven't had a chance to go see that match, Logan Paul versus Miz, at this past weekend's SummerSlam, go to the Peacock Network. If you're an Xfinity subscriber, you already get it for free. And just watch it. The man, I don't... Do I think that he has grown up and matured from the instance that got him kicked off of YouTube? Yes, I do. Because you can't go... You can't get where you are right now without maturing. I don't think he is the same person. I think he's older, wiser. I think what he did was, he's still a kid. Like, people forget that. He's been around so long that people think that he's like 30, 40s. He's not.
And this is the part of the whole, and we'll get to that comment in a second. The one that just recently dropped. Like, I get the whole, like, the canceling and consequence culture and all. Like, I understand it, but like, there's something in the water where people think that when somebody young at 21 or 20 or whatever goes and says something, it defines them for the rest of their life. And it doesn't, because it defines them for the rest of their life if at 31 they still think it and still do that stupid shit. Look, at 21 years old, like, see this here, folks? This is the only one I'm going to have tonight because I'm 31 and do not enjoy the day after of having too much to go.
And for those of you that are listening to our podcast,
this
my
is a
lovely
glass
co-host,
of Roses bourbon.
There you go. Because they can't see what you're holding up.
I forget about the whole listening. That's the tough part of doing a video and audio podcast is you got to account for the audio listeners in the future.
Yes.
By the way, hi future you. I hope you guys are doing swell. But like at 31, almost 32, the next day, if I drink too much, is hell.
Oh, dude.
I don't want to do that. At 21, I didn't care. I didn't feel it. You just drank more.
There is a reason why there is the saying "young, dumb, and full of gum."
Ding.
Because your late teens to early 30s, that's pretty much what it is.
Oh,
and then you wake up, and like at 31, 32, and it's like a switch has just been flipped in your brain, and you're like, yeah, no, we're not doing this anymore. And you understand that you are an adult with responsibilities.
I had a friend of mine who, around the time that, like, I turned 30 in the middle of the pandemic. Like everything was kind of loosened a little bit by this point. This was October of 2020. So everything had kind of loosened up a little bit. So I was able to go out and do, some fun stuff. Holy shit. Dude, is your water bottle green?
My water bottle is green. I thought it was far enough off of the color of my green screen, but no, it is not. For those of you that are listening, my aluminum water bottle is green, and because I have a green screen background, it looks like I have an invisible water bottle. It was fantastic. No, there is no ADHD or ADD on the show at all.
Oh, no, nothing like that. Anyway,
no.
So a friend of mine took me out for my 30th birthday. When he turned 30, I joked around with him going, welcome to the land of 30. It's full of back pain, and why do I have to pay this tax again?
Mm-hmm.
And then he goes and looks at me a couple months later as, it's the summertime and, restrictions died down a little bit more in 2021. Well, like, dude, I turned 30 and, like, I felt like I was more of an adult than I ever could be in my life. And I'm like, all right, dude, don't take this too seriously. Like, I understand at 30 you kind of have a mental switch of how you feel and think. Like, I get that, but you don't need to take this too seriously here. Like, it's not one of those, I'm 29 on this day, time to have one last day of absolute fun, and then the next day you're going, you're putting on your white New Balance sneakers going, okay, up and at 'em, 6 a.m., time to mow the lawn. Gotta get ahead of the grass. Gotta get ahead of the rain in the morning because then you cut wet grass. That's not good for the blades on the lawnmower.
It's not.
That thermostat. I gotta go. I know it's not, but I'm just making the joke here. Shut up. So, that thermostat. We gotta turn this up. If you're cold, wear layers. It's
I feel like I'm back home.
Yeah, and that's the other thing too.
That is absolutely true. Coming in from Twitch.
Plague Doctor's right, because look at me. I'm 31, and I don't know if I'm ever gonna.
Kevin is 31, and he is just now starting to understand the birds and the bees.
Oh no, I had that lesson. 15.
Getting back to our topic, which right now has been Logan Paul and the fact that
Yes.
when you hit 30, there's a mental switch that goes off,
Yeah. So
which
Logan
what
Paul,
started
when he
this
was
whole
younger,
conversation.
when he was doing that stupid shit,
Mhm.
forgive me if I'm wrong, but wasn't it Logan Paul that was in that Japanese forest that? Okay,
That's what got him kicked off of YouTube.
I think he has come out and said that he regrets doing that, which signals growth,
Yes.
signals maturity. That's what you need.
Right. And to the detractors that say, well, he was just reading a press release from his PR firm. That may very well have been at that time, but show me something that he has done since then that absolutely contradicts that statement. I'll sit here and wait. I am not, listen, I am still on the fence. I'm still a little skeptical that that person might still show himself. You know what I'm saying? That monster might rear its head at times. But I'm more so leaning in the direction of I'm pretty sure he is reformed, because you can't hold it against somebody, something that they did for the rest of their lives. If they have shown the growth and the maturity to realize what they've done, accept the consequence, and use it as a learning experience for their own personal growth. And I feel like that's what he's doing, because after that happened, then he completely transformed his body, going to the gym. He started boxing and seriously training. And Logan Paul was never in bad shape. I'm not saying that. Logan Paul was a D1 candidate for collegiate wrestling. Let's get that straight. He wasn't a slouch, but you can see how his body is transformed in the years since he was on YouTube. You can see the definition just in his face alone. So, Plague Doctor says, from Twitch, twitch.tv/BJD Pod. Also, WWE gets bigger by letting stars tell the stories they want to tell. Well, goddamn, what a concept. I feel like, Kevin, we have said that so many times. Let them tell the story they want to tell. That angle and perfect example that I'm going to use, and I'm going to use WWE because this is what we're talking about right now. That whole Dean Ambrose, Roman Reigns angle that they were doing before Dean left, when Dean was the heel, and Dean wasn't into Dean wasn't into, and in his own words, he wasn't into the angle at all. He especially was not into the angle after Vince wanted him to go out there and say something in regards to Roman's cancer, and Dean was like, yeah, fuck you, that's my boy, no. And then how Vince wanted Dean to get in some corny ass line or something like that. It wasn't, I don't want to say it was a failed angle. It wasn't an interesting angle, or as interesting as it could have been, because you had two members of the Shield, right, going up against each other. The two members that we knew were the closest, both in and out of the ring. And it was a miss, because you could tell that they weren't into it. And come to find out, they weren't into it because of the stuff that they were told that they wanted to be done. And they were just like, no, that's not. So yeah, that is absolutely true, that the WWE gets bigger by letting stars tell the stories they want to tell. And bringing Johnny Gargano back, because Johnny Wrestling needs to come back. And I honestly thought that he was going to come back in Logan Paul's corner at SummerSlam, because if you don't know, and for those of you that don't, Tommaso Ciampa is in the Miz's corner. He's evidently the Miz's. He's the new John Morrison. He is Miz's new Morrison. So, and they've double teamed Logan Paul a couple times leading up to this match, and I thought that for sure Logan Paul was going to cut some kind of promo in the beginning, on the stage before he walked down to the ring, and then you would hear Rebel Heart playing, and Johnny Gargano would come out in Logan Paul's corner. I thought that would be a fantastic way to bring Johnny back. I was off on that. I still want to see Johnny wrestling back. I don't care where he is. I just want to see him. Coming in from, we're getting inundated with messages from Twitch. That's cool. Keep them coming, folks. Logan Paul greater than Dominic Mysterio. I absolutely agree. Zrivum 13 says Logan Paul is definitely better than Dom Mysterio. He also says Pat McAfee is better than Dom. Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, listen.
I agree with that. Like I had to watch SummerSlam in parts because I worked on Saturday during it, so I had to watch it in parts on Sunday, and then after work on Sunday I had to watch the rest of it. And yeah, let me tell you something. Pat McAfee, for he's a punter. But he's athletic, so he's going to be able to do a little bit more than others can. But he also is a fan of pro wrestling and a fan of sports entertainment. So he's actually going to, as a celebrity, since after retiring from the NFL and the Indianapolis Colts as a punter, he was at Barstool Sports.
There you go.
He is a current SiriusXM host on Mad Dog Sports Radio.
Yes, he is a contributor to the Vince Russo, the brand series of fuck, Kevin, what's that word?
The
stuff the stuff that Vince Russo does. He's a contributor to that.
Here's an ADHD thing. When you can't think of the word for what it's called, you're like the thing, and you go and describe it, and somebody goes, I'm like, or here's an example. I have yet to have this happen to me, and I do mean yet. The thing, it's broken. The thing where you sit on it and you go and pass bowel movements and all that.
Yeah, the fucking toilet.
Toilet, Kevin. Yeah, that thing. It's broken.
Yeah, and both of our brains are currently broken.
But that's
no, I know
that's an everyday thing.
Yes, that just happened here live on our show.
Yep.
More
tags, ADHD.
Yes, more comments coming in from Twitch. Speedcause says, unsung hero of SummerSlam, Baron fucking Corbin. Plague Doctor immediately responds with, you mean bum-ass Corbin. Because if you don't know this and you have not seen Pat McAfee's entrance for SummerSlam, you need to watch it. Because during the lead up to this match, he kept calling him bum-ass Corbin.
Yep. It was great.
So the intro, Pat McAfee's theme song that played, it seemed like it played forever before McAfee even came out. It was literally like, it sounded like a college football theme, but it was just, and the words, he was just screaming, bum-ass Corbin. And it was entertaining. It was hilarious. And then the match that they put on was great.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that it is time for people to give Baron Corbin his flowers. Baron Corbin has done
those flowers for years.
Yes.
I think as
some
much
have.
Could there be some tweaks to him? Yeah, of course there can be. But you know what? He's flourished in whatever he's done. Hey, Baron, we want to change your name to Happy Corbin, but what we need to do first is we need to get you down to your lowest low, and for those that are anti-WWE and say they don't do long-term storytelling, this was a masterclass in long-term storytelling.
Mm-hmm.
Each week, the shirt after he's King Corbin, after he's General Manager Corbin or Constable Corbin or whatever.
Constable Corbin, I believe it was.
Constable Corbin. The shirt now that, by the way, he kept getting as a body positive movement type of guy. He kept getting railed for his body, and I'm just like, guys, you're missing this. Number one, I have no issue with how he looks. It's just how he looks. Whatever. It is what it is. But you're missing out on the memes of taking his body with the belly button crease that forms a mouth,
and
the clip from Seinfeld in the episode where the woman Jerry Seinfeld is dating in the current episode, when her belly button moves, it makes this like hello type of stuff. You're missing out on opportunities here to have some lighthearted fun with Baron Corbin. Instead, you're going to go and say that, like, oh, his body's ugly, this is stupid. No,
Right.
You're fucking stupid. Sit down, shut up, unless you want to get in the ring and do it yourself. Shut the fuck up, sit the fuck down.
Right. Clearly, they never grew up doing the hairy bagel in high school.
But like Baron Corbin, like the going from like I called it loser Corbin, poor man Corbin, like broke ass Corbin. I
think he was called broke ass Corbin at one time, wasn't he?
I feel like somebody called him broke ass name, but like somebody did mention like you're just a broke ass Corbin now. Right. But like you saw the ketchup stain on the shirt, the hair and the beard kind of got a little unkempt. Here's the other part, the long hair. Yeah, that was such a great move when he decided to go.
Oh, absolutely, because it reminded me of Shawn Michaels.
Yep,
and if anybody knows what I'm talking about, Shawn Michaels had like this patch of hair in the front of his head. Then it was like in the middle, it was kind of bald, and then he had the rest of the hair. And he would just let the front of it grow so that he could reach the front to the back. So we got some comments that we got to catch up on.
Oh, the most recent comment. The most recent comment.
Yes. So quick.
Make it quicker.
I'm gonna make it even quicker. I kept saying that because I lost my place. I'm so sorry.
Look,
we have a comment that says, you want to make Ciampa the biggest heel and Logan Paul a bigger babyface than Drew McIntyre. I feel like I could. You know what? I'm okay with that, and I'm going to tell you why I'm okay with that. I've never liked face Drew. I didn't like him in Impact. I didn't like him in NXT, and I don't like him now. Especially when they saddle him. If they wanted him to be a face ass kicker, cool. You want him to be a face comedian and do the fucking countdown, which, not for nothing, folks. If I'm in the ring against Drew McIntyre and I hear the fucking crowd counting down from fucking 3, you know what I'm doing? I'm rolling my happy ass out the ring and he can claim more of the fucking air. Okay?
Yeah. Like, that's one of those things. If you're a heel, you roll out of the ring and it's like, you want to hit that thing on me, you got to not let me know it's coming. Or you got to go and, like, honestly, here's what Drew should go and do, just as like a tweak. I think Drew is great. He's one of those that, like,
he'll do whatever you're asking him to do, and he'll do it well.
And I think, by the way, him at SummerSlam this past Saturday was fantastic. I thought that he was great, especially, we're gonna go. I'm not doing a Scottish accent.
No.
We're gonna go and have Brock versus Roman for the first time ever in Nissan Stadium in Nashville, Tennessee. What's your name? Colt. In front of Colt, and he gets the crowd to do a Colt chant. It's like, all right. Drew, he's probably better as a heel than a face, but Drew as a face is working well too. But I think if Drew wants to, at the end of the match, do the 3, 2, 1 Claymore, I think what he needs to do right before that happens is, instead of that headbutt,
the Glasgow kiss.
Instead of the Glasgow kiss, thank you. I just always call it a headbutt. Instead of that, he needs to do like a headbutt that doesn't knock them on the ground, but like a headbutt that staggers them a little bit, and then some type of like butterfly clap to the ears.
Oh, you want him to box the... So, see what you're doing?
They're going to hit the ears, and then they're going to go down. They're going to be disoriented from the headache, and then it's going to be like, what am I hearing? It's going to kind of be like you're in a state of shock almost,
look at Kevin over here doing some storytelling.
Sonic shock.
That's storytelling.
Exactly, which ties back into what we talked about Triple H, where he went and said earlier today, I'm going to paraphrase the shit out of this because I saw it at dinner and was hearing like 4 different conversations going on and a TV, so, ADHD things. And what Triple H said was that the moves don't matter. It's what you do in between the moves. It's the storytelling. That moves are fine, but nobody remembers the moves. They remember the character and the story. And that is still true in pro wrestling. And that has always been true in pro wrestling. And it's just these, to borrow a word, and I wish I had the sound clip for it, to borrow a word from Daniel Bryan, not Bryan Danielson, but Daniel Bryan, fickle. It's fickle wrestling fans nowadays who are very much, we want to go and see these flip reverse, this thing, that thing, this, it's kind of like for those who know about this up in the Northeast, in New England, the Shriners little go-karts in parades. You'll go and see them in a little, like a Santa parade, the Shriners, and just like the go-karts are going all over the road, they're going everywhere, mishmashing everywhere. That's what they want. They want some type of car crash, train wreck type of match with all these 630, 450 into a sunset flip, senton bomb. And it's like, no, I want the guy that goes and puts you into an arm lock for a couple of minutes.
They want to see the Lucha Bros all the time.
They want to see...
That's what it comes down to.
Party. They want to see super kicks everywhere. I don't want to see the super kick again.
No. Super kick is overdone.
I'm good. Super kick's overdone. Like,
so
look, somebody breaks out a pile driver nowadays, it's like, holy shit. Somebody breaks out a super kick, it's like somebody just slapping a person in the face.
It has lost all of its effectiveness as far as I'm concerned.
It's so, like, WWE and Shawn Michaels, I think, went and told all sorts of other wrestlers, like, no, that's Shawn Michaels move, we can't use it. And after he retired, other people started using it, but not nearly as much as they are now.
Right.
Everybody's
to the less effective way that they are using it now. So this is why I brought up Vince Russo in the beginning of the show, right? Is because of Triple H's because of Triple H's comments. Vince Russo was trending because of this tweet earlier today. Vince Russo's tweet at the Vince Russo is saying that casual wrestling fans are not interested in 15 to 20 minute matches is not a knock on Triple H's booking. It is a fact. How do I know? I'm a casual fan, and I'm not interested in 15 to 20 minute matches. Now, that is kind of a double-edged sword, right? Do I like 15 to 20 minute matches? Hell, I like 30 to 45 minute matches if there's good storytelling and there is enough of a backstory behind that match. Do I want to see every match as a 15 to 20 minute match? Fuck no. I need something to breathe. I need to breathe.
So I'm going to go and share something. I was trying to find that tweet in question, but I found this one instead that I've been kind of thinking about for, because I'm not a conspiracy person. The only two conspiracies that I actually really believe in. Mm-hmm. The first, and these are ones that are fairly normal, is that all the pro sports are fake. At least when they want the sexy Super Bowl or the sex.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
I don't want to actually. I'll talk about that later of why I don't actually want to mention the word super and bowl together again. There's some years where they just let fate decide what happens and they end up going, that really wasn't that good of a big game. How about next year we have one team in New England go 16-0, and we'll have an upstart New York team defeat them from going 19-0.
Right, you know how that New York team...
You're ever going to get me to admit to that.
And didn't that New York team have to beat... The second coming of Christ at the time, Mr. Aaron Rodgers in Green Bay to make it through?
No, that was before the second coming. Which, by the way, not for nothing, I know Plague Doctor, but that video of your boy strolling in a training camp with the white tank top and the hair,
bro, incarcerated
Cage in Con Air.
Dude, that's what I posted that. I posted that picture, and I captioned it "Incarcerated Aeronautics" because it was literally like It was like the B-side of Con Air. Like the dude didn't even dye his hair.
No, that's all.
He'll dye it come October when he has a new girlfriend who doesn't piss in her hands to make clay or whatever the other one did.
Yeah, no, that was weird.
She was a little weird. Different folks, different strokes, or whatever it is they say.
Different strokes, different folks. But different folks, different strokes who work in this situation too. Phrasing, I know. But no, like, so here we go. So for those who are listening, this is a Vince Russo quote. Again, I'm not a conspiracy person. The other one that I believe in is that in the 70 years that we've, like, in the technology age, like the Roswell incident, 1945, and Area 51, that there's no way the human mind has been capable of all these technological advances that we've had in such a short amount of time, when we had the Catholic religion holding everything down from about the year 1100 to like 1800. There had to have been, in the Roswell incident, an alien family who crash landed and went, whoa, hold up. Before you kill me, I have stuff, and I'm willing to share it if you spare me and my boys. Okay? And that's why we have computers the size of a wallet able to fit in our pocket.
So on episode 5 of the BJD Podcast, we will be discussing conspiracy theories. We hope
we're not.
to see you there.
No, we're not. We're not. Those are the only two. And like, they're the most... And the one that I joke around that I believe in is the whole... There's one out there... Maybe episode 5 will be conspiracy talk. There's one out there that the reason JFK was assassinated was because the CIA wanted to go and eliminate all the birds in the United States and replace them with bird-like drones, and JFK said no.
Bro.
So that's why the CIA assassinated him, and all the birds that we see today are all fake. They're all drones.
Bro, can I tell you that 6 months ago I had to have a conversation with my brother, and he was like, "Dude, do you know what I saw online?" And I was like, "No, what did you see online?" He goes, "There's this dude starting this movement that all birds are fake and that they don't exist." I said, "Dude, this has been old. Where have you been?" He's like, "You know about this?" I'm like, "Yes." People legitimately think Plague Doctor straight in from Twitch. If you do a conspiracy pod, I want in.
Yeah.
There are legitimate people who think that because birds sit on high voltage lines and don't get electrocuted, that they aren't real, and that they are drones piloted by government employees used to spy on the citizens of North America. I'm not sure where I rank that one, but that one's pretty on par with the Earth is fucking flat. Like, I'm not sure. Like, I
gotta try to remember the name of the documentary I saw, but it was about all these flat earthers. And at the very end of the entire documentary, they do an experiment. And they're like, I don't know how many yards away from each other. Mm-hmm. But they said, if there's a curve, that they had two, like, pieces of plywood with a hole cut at the same at like the same spot, I mean.
Yeah.
And they were going to shine a flashlight through one. And if it shined through the exact same hole,
mm-hmm.
then it proves the Earth is flat. But if they couldn't see the light, it proves the Earth has a curve. And they were like such and such amount of yards away. Such a bright flashlight. They shine it through the hole. Hey, can you see it? No. Credits. I'm like, so the end of the documentary where they're trying to explain their position about why they think the Earth is flat, they prove that the Earth is not flat, and they're dumbasses.
Yes.
What the fuck?
Welcome to 2022. So getting back to Vince Russo, bro.
Yes,
So
bro, he goes and says, and again, I'm sharing a tweet that's a picture of a quote that he said, and again, it kind of goes in line with the whole conspiracy talk we've just been doing for the last 5 minutes. They want to believe Triple H is in charge of the creative, guys, I'm here to educate you. He is not in charge of creative. Everything is going through Vince McMahon wherever he is hiding. Bro, Vince Russo didn't say it because there are no bros in this statement. That's my conspiracy about this.
Bro.
There are no bros in this statement.
There should have been at least 4 bros in that statement.
Like, hang on. Bro, they want to believe Triple H is in charge of creative, bro. Okay, guys, I'm here to educate you, okay, bro? Bro, he is not in charge of creative, okay? Everything is going through Vince McMahon wherever he is hiding out, bro.
Yeah, I would have believed that came from Vince Russo. Absolutely. Without a shadow of a doubt. With a tear in my eye. I would believe that came from Vince Russo.
This is not the greatest no in my life.
I can no longer ever since watching that promo again when I was older, I could never say without a shadow of a doubt without saying with a tear in my eye. If you got it, you got it. If you didn't, you didn't. Most of the time they didn't.
How about a girlfriend I dated years and years ago where she goes and just says, like, with a tear in my eye, I'm watching this. And I'm like, no, that's not the right line. She's like, what were you talking about? I'm like, see, you're supposed to say with a tear in my eye, this is the greatest moment of my life. She's like, yes. I was watching a video of a dog dying. What the fuck are you on?
No.
Like, oh, that's what you were watching. Okay, I'm going to see myself out over this cliff. Seriously? Where there's jagged rocks at the bottom. Shit.
So let's catch up on some of these comments here. So we've got Plague Doctor raises an interesting question. He says that there's some podcasts out there that he has listened to or seen that say that Baron Corbin isn't even mid card level, that he's a jobber. I don't agree with that. What?
Like that's another part to it too of what I said earlier. Have you ever been doing this before? No? Well then shut the fuck up and sit the fuck down. Dude, do you even really know what a jobber is?
Bro, seriously, I love it when smarks use insider terms thinking that they know what it means. Because we talked about lowlights, right? So in one of the Facebook groups that I'm a part of, they showed the 3 count. They made a GIF of the 3 count of Ric Flair's last match, which took place this Sunday, put on by David Crockett Promotions and Conrad Thompson at StarCast. And let me tell you something. That I understand why Flair did it, because his net worth is $500,000. For somebody who has been in the business for as long as he has, his net worth is $500,000.
Oh, good Lord.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you ever want to look at an example for saving your money, look no further than one Richard Flair.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
So
$500,000.
Yes.
However,
$500,000
in my name.
Right. However, I do believe
I almost have $1.2 billion, but some schmuck in Illinois won that.
Yeah, he and me both. So it is believed that after
doing this podcast, if I won $1.2 billion, fuck no.
I take great offense to that because I was going to invest a shit ton of money into this podcast if I had won. Fuck
oh, no, I would have gone and been like, hey, look, I'm not worth $1.2 billion, so, hey, SiriusXM, here's some good dudes. I'm one of those good dudes.
Oh, okay. All right.
Oh, by the way, you should also put Covino and Rich back on SiriusXM because y'all fucked with them so long and you never promoted them like you should have. Okay, so fuck you guys.
There is a 2-year backstory behind that, folks, which we will get into on the Conspiracy Theories podcast. So it is estimated.
You have to wear a different shirt.
Yeah, it was reported that Flair's payday for this final match was somewhere north of $5 million. $1 million.
and I bet you $3 million of that is going to be going to alimony.
No, so the reason why Ric Flair has $500,000 to his name is because in the settlement, when he sold off all of his assets, him selling off all of his assets, that was it. That was part of the settlement. So sell off all your assets, and now you have no alimony, no child support. Not that he hasn't had child support for forever because his kids are fucking goddamn
They're all grown.
You know.
Bro,
so anyway, getting back to
alimony is,
bro.
Fuck it, bro. Like, of course I know what alimony is,
bro. If you look at our comments right now, folks, there's about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12. There's like 14 bros, and that's just on the comments that are on screen.
There's an old wrestling talk show that me and Ray used to listen to a lot. That I think they had 2 guests on, Vince Russo and what's the other one? So one that trained Randy Orton and a lot of the other OVW stars. Sailors. Shit.
Fuck. Hold on.
Well, speaking of that word,
the Google machine.
They had a counter for both Vince Russo and the other guy that we're both drawing a blank on, but it's the guy who trained Randy Orton, and Mark Henry, something Rogers. Rip Rogers. No,
Rip Rogers, there you go.
Rip Rogers. Rip Rogers, really?
Yeah.
It can't be Rip Rogers.
Trained. Well, see, according to Wikipedia, one Randall Keith Orton was trained by Dave Finlay and Bob Orton Jr., as well as the Mid-Missouri Wrestling Alliance.
Okay. Anyway, they had a counter for how many times Vince Russo said bro. I think the highest I heard them say was like 63.
Oh, my goodness. My goodness. That is just...
Yeah. Bro.
Wow.
Bro.
So anyway, so getting back to the whole gif was the match ended with Flair putting the figure 4 on Jeff Jarrett. However, he was so exhausted that all 4 shoulders were down on the mat. Clearly, all 4 shoulders were down. Jarrett's were down because he was supposed to take the figure 4 pin. Flair's were down because he couldn't hold himself up anymore. So the ref counted 3 with 4 shoulders down and declared Flair's team the winner. And all I commented was, so we're just going to ignore the fact that all 4 shoulders are down? Question mark. I got called a fucking mark and I'm like, y'all even know what a mark is? Because y'all sound like jackasses right now. I can't stand and I constantly forget it. So I'll comment on something, and then the first comment back, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's right, internet wrestling community. I forgot about that shit. You know? So, here we go. Plague Doctor says, hey, Baron Corbin is this generation's Jake the Snake.
That was the one that I was like, ooh, yes.
And you know what? If you think about that,
yes.
Not really too far off. He gets you to hate him. He gets you to hate what he's doing. He gets the psychology of it all. Yeah. And he doesn't need a title to be relevant. And for the longest time, his finisher was protected.
Oh, yeah. You never saw anybody do the DDT. That's kind of like the super kick now. So with the super kick, like, that's turning into...
Well, I meant the end of days.
Oh, okay. See, you mentioned Jake the Snake Roberts, so I'm thinking the DDT. I'm not thinking the end of days. Nobody does the end of days because that's so unique.
It is.
The DDT, nobody did it for so long. You know, like the Tombstone Piledriver was different because, like everybody else, when they did a pile driver, it was generally you put them in a power bomb position, you lifted them up, and then sat down. The Tombstone was different, and especially when the Undertaker used it, because, well, he's an Undertaker, and he's laying them to rest, so it makes
Right.
sense for him to use it. And because the pile driver was, according to rumor and innuendo, it's a banned move in the WWE and other wrestling promotions. When you see somebody execute a pile driver, you're like, oh, holy shit, you see somebody execute a DDT, you know it's setting something up.
Yes. And fun fact, don't mean to cut you off. Fun fact, Jake the Snake Roberts doesn't even consider the DDTs that you see on TV now DDTs because they're done wrong. And
well, of
Jake
say it because he's the DDT master.
Well, no, and so he actually explains it on his podcast, DDP Snake Pit. He explains the difference. Yeah, on DDP Snake Pit. Him and DDP co-host a podcast with Conrad.
Oh, son of a bitch! I've got another fucking podcast to listen to. God damn it!
It started back in January, so there are plenty of episodes for you to binge on. It's a really good podcast. I will say once you get to the Scott Hall one, probably make sure you're listening to it. You can also watch it on YouTube, either listening or watching it alone with a box of tissues.
So I use Google Podcasts to listen to a lot of mine.
Just put in Conrad Thompson.
Tough. No, I just put in DDP, and it was the first thing that popped up was DDP Snake Pit. So the episode 2 days ago is Kevin Nash. Did he blow his quad while doing this episode?
Bro.
Sorry, had to.
That's fucking hilarious. So
last week's episode, I'm just scrolling through. So they had an episode about Mr. Perfect Kurt Hennig, then an episode about Raven, but last week's, the makings of a baby face. Oh, I need to listen to that one.
Dude, everything that Jake says is like, the man makes so much fucking sense. It's ridiculous.
Oh, damn it. They're discussing their Mount Rushmore. I saw one that was called Mount Rushmore, and I went, oh, good. I hope it's them saying that the Mount Rushmore of this and the Mount Rushmore of that needs to fucking go away.
No, they do their own. Yeah, they do their own personal Mount Rushmores. So, all right, focus. Hey, hi, how you doing?
No, there's no focusing anymore. I saw Eddie Guerrero's name.
Good Lord. Anyway, I will continue going. Kevin will be rejoining us momentarily. With the DDP Snake Pit podcast, Jake the Snake Roberts actually explains why the DDTs that you see on TV he doesn't consider DDTs, and it has to do with the placement and follow-through of the feet. Because if
an image in my head.
Yeah. He says that you've got to kick is it the left foot? I believe it's the left foot. He goes, you got to kick that left foot through to make it more believable and bring the impact, and I'm using quotation fingers right now because it's not real impact that he wants to bring. He wants you to believe that there's impact, and that's why the DDT that Jake does looks so devastating. So that was just a little side tangent on that with the Plague Doctor as Baron Corbin is this generation's Jake the Snake. We also have another comment in that says Pat McAfee deserves a run with the tag straps. Pat McAfee deserves a run with any fucking strap at this point. Sans WHC.
Well, yeah, like he deserves a strap. Like championship strap, not strap like strap on.
I feel like that went way left. I really feel like that went way left. Why? What exactly are you looking at on your phone at this particular moment in time, sir?
I'm just downloading stuff, but you went and said he deserves any strap, and I was just like...
Yeah, I said any strap, not any strap on.
Yeah, I don't know why. Here's the daddy portion of our podcast.
There you go, folks. We have definitely hit you with we have met our quota of brothers for the past 3 episodes tonight. And that one right there is the daddy portion of the BJD podcast. Now listen, Jack. What strap? Plague Doctor said way left.
Way left.
So here's the thing: if you were to put Pat McAfee in a tag team for the straps, Kevin is horny.
All right.
Look, the commenters are picking up on it. Good job, Kev.
Sorry, a little bit of like real life stuff. When am I not?
Oh, is that why it took so long to open the room today?
No. I was seriously like distracted by everything other than.
Oh, okay. All right. It was an actual ADD day.
I'm making the Vin Scully video, and folks, the intro video for Vin Scully tonight, I decided I'm going to make this at 11 this morning. While I was in the middle of like doing a couple things around the house and trying to, we have central air. We're I saw that. All right, I'm gonna keep going for Ray because he had a bit of a moment. I just laughed so hard that I'm having a bit of a moment. Holy shit!
Oh my goodness, that was. I'm sorry. We had a comment come in as I was taking a sip of water, and I almost choked. I almost aspirated on my aqua. Plague Doctor, when posed with the question, "Who would you put Pat McAfee in a tag team with?" He responded with, "Almost." Omos. And I read that and I always think of Edward James Olmos, and it's like there needs to be an A in there. No.
And I started that Vince Scully video at about 3 this afternoon and finished it like maybe 10-15 minutes before we went live because I was distracted with everything else. Today's been an ADHD day, not a horny day. That, my friends, is Monday.
I'm just going to say this one thing, Kev, and folks, this is a total insider. I am going to say this to Kevin. I just got DM'd a cursed image.
I know what image you're talking about.
Yes. And I hope that yours is somewhere in the mail.
I got that same DM. I'm not looking at it. I'm not looking at it. It doesn't exist.
So some of the options.
Once again, not gonna look at that image anymore. Please go.
Some of the suggestions that we're getting over on Twitch: Pat McAfee and Omos, Pat McAfee and Von Wagner. That could work because Von Wagner is good, but he doesn't have Pat's mic skills, so Pat could be the talker. Absolutely. Pat McAfee and Bobby Lashley. Again, Bobby's good on the mic, not as good as Pat. So that would work.
Yeah, but you know
Pat
what? Like,
McAfee and Michael Cole on Fridays is fantastic.
Pat McAfee and Bobby Lashley is the best out of these four. And it's not because, like, you know, you have the talker and the muscle. Both of them can talk.
Yeah.
It kind of would be like a Paul Heyman and a Roman Reigns, where both of them can talk.
Yeah.
You know, it's just obviously one is better than the other, but the other's no slouch.
Yes, the other can hold his own if needed.
Like, Roman comes out on Saturday night. By the time I watched him come out, it was Sunday night. Excuse me. And, you know, he just goes, like, he's got the crowd as much as he's the heel. You know, like, I remember after he beat The Undertaker at WrestleMania 33.
When he was a face.
When he was a face, and he was being booed mercilessly. You know? You saw a glimpse of that heel Roman come out on the Raw after going, "This is my yard now." I'm like, oh, masterclass right there.
And we thought that was going to be the start of something fantastic. And it wasn't.
Yeah, and it didn't. You know, but then again, that was different creative. But I remember there were points where he said, "I'm not a good guy. I'm not a bad guy. I'm the guy." Well, now he's the guy. Right. And instead of going, "Get off my TV, you bum," the crowd is pointing their fingers up in the air saying, "Yep, we acknowledge you're the guy."
I acknowledge the tribal chief.
I acknowledge the tribal chief. Though, got to admit, as a small aside, and I showed my family and the people I work with the video of Brock Lesnar with the fucking tractor.
How awesome was that?
So I saw it on Saturday night. So I'm weird when it comes to spoilers. Do not spoil Doctor Who or Star Wars to me.
Right.
But anything else, go and talk to me about it, and I'm still going to watch it. It's just I want to see how it gets there. So
Right.
I saw that GIF of Brock Lesnar with the tractor lifting the ring up. Okay, how did we get to this moment? Well, I saw how we got to this moment. By the way, 2 things in Brock's entrance. When he puts the cowboy hat and the flannel on and he does the little hat lift up on that camera, I'm like, oh, that was great. And then he introduces himself and just flips the microphone to Roman, and Roman just no flinching catches it, and then
that catch was.
I'm like, oh,
that catch was perfect.
That was not coordinated at all, but it looks like it was. That was great.
Oh, that was fantastic! It was so awesome. So I thought now people were dogging that whole fucking segment, right, where he lifts the ring. Now, personally, when I was watching it, I thought that, and I think I understand the point that they were trying to make, but I think they missed it, right? I think they were off the mark. So when he started to use the tractor to flip the ring, to raise the ring, I thought he was going to flip the ring on top of Roman, but Roman wouldn't be injured because the posts, right, would stop the ring from crushing Roman. However, Roman wouldn't be able to get to his feet because the most he could do is, get up to his knees. So I'm like, oh, that's how he's going to win. That's pretty cool. I like that. And then to see that he just tipped the ring and the fall that Roman took, which, not for nothing, I feel like that fall was way more dangerous than flipping the ring on top of him.
Oh, yeah.
Because you don't know where you're going to land at that point. He bounced around an elevated ring. Like, I'm like, ugh. So nobody got hurt, and that's cool. However, the point that some members of the IWC were making were along the lines of, imagine paying tens of thousands of dollars for front row seats for a main event, and you see the underside of the ring.
Oh, those people can suck nuts.
And I was like, I see what you're saying, but all you got to do is just move to the side, like to the side. So you kind of missed. You miffed the target. You missed the target.
You miffed. What are you, shooting a shark all of a sudden?
Yeah, I don't know what the hell that was. So you said
if I'm going to be Skip Bayless, I'm just going to throw myself off that cliff sooner. I don't want to be a Cowboys fan.
So
exactly.
You said Pat McAfee and Bobby Lashley. I say Pat McAfee and Von Wagner. Why? Because Bobby Lashley, as much as I enjoy him, Bobby Lashley is already an established star. Use Pat McAfee to get Von Wagner over. Or better yet, I can't think of his name. Oh God, what the heck? He's in NXT right now. He was kayfabe married to Indy Hartwell's best friend, Persia, I think it was, Parati, during that whole Dexter Loomis thing. And in real life, he's like Jake Atlas's significant other. Great, not Grayson Waller. Shit. Oh, I can't remember his name. I'm going to have to look this up. To the Google machine.
Yeah, I'm looking for a certain interview. Wait, what was...
Duke Hudson. That's
yeah, that guy.
Yeah, that guy. Duke Hudson would be a fantastic addition to the main roster. He's a pretty solid in-ring performer, and he can talk. So putting him with Pat McAfee or putting Von Wagner with Pat McAfee would be amazing.
Ooh, hey, speaking of the tractor spot, I got some news. So I'm looking for a specific video I saw about the changed finish of the match, and yeah, Plague Doctor is telling you Duke Hudson.
Duke Hudson. Thank you very much.
Now, it's from Cultaholic Wrestling's Twitter yesterday, August 2nd. So it's more than likely a reprint of somewhere else. Allegedly. Gonna say that before they come after us. Allegedly. A report from PW Insider suggests that the Brock Lesnar tractor spot at WWE SummerSlam was far rougher and harder than anyone had planned for. The report also notes that Lesnar was not involved in rehearsal of the spot prior to the show. So,
that's always good.
That's always good when you got to rehearse a spot and the guy who needs to do it isn't doing it. But at the same time, Lesnar owns a gigantic ass parcel of land in Canada.
Yes,
and he farms and all this. So
Farmer Brock is a very real thing.
Yeah, he probably knows how to use a tractor, and it was probably like, I don't need to rehearse this shit. I'm good. I can do this sleeping. I can do this while banging my wife. I'm good.
Right, because in actuality, and I mean, I'm going to kind of play devil's advocate here. In actuality, what is the difference between Brock Lesnar driving a tractor and fucking stagehand Bob driving a tractor? The person taking the bump is Roman. So as long as Roman's there, you're good.
And I forgot, at the very, Brock is standing in the front loader of said tractor.
Mm-hmm.
And then he goes and jumps out of the tractor.
Bro.
That's the, most air he's gotten since WrestleMania 19. Fortunately, this ended much better than that.
Yeah, it didn't end in a broken friggin' neck.
I don't even think he broke his neck. I think he has so many... He's like Corey Taylor. His neck is just so massive, he can't break it.
No, I thought
they
both had...
No, Kurt definitely had the broken neck, but Brock had more of a concussion than anything else. And maybe some neck compression.
Maybe.
I'm still trying to go and find this fucking video. I gotta try to...
Yeah, he suffered... That's what it was. Many feared Lesnar had broken his neck. He hadn't, but he suffered a severe concussion. And that's literally how Bleacher Report wrote it. He crashed headfirst into the ground and Angle's ribs. Many feared Lesnar had broken his neck. He hadn't, but he suffered a severe concussion.
So somebody made if you guys remember from 2009 MTV VMA Awards.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, is it the Video Music Awards that I just said? Fuck, I hate that.
Yeah, you said the VMA Awards.
Yeah, so the Video Music, it's
the VMAs.
Of mine. It's the VMAs, not the VMA Awards, because that's like saying an ATM machine, which is technically called an automatic transaction machine. So anyway, I don't know if I'm going to be able to go and find this video, but it was a video, I believe, mashing, here's the real finish of the Brock Lesnar-Roman Reigns match. And it was showing nothing but hindsight.
Plague Doctor coming in hot, saying nothing but V on Kev's mind tonight.
I'm not drunk enough for those type of comments. I'm actually not even drunk at all.
Moving right along. So listen, Jack. Plague Doctor over here says... Plague Doctor says, Jericho and Wheeler Yuta had a banger of a match, by the way. I'm kind of excited. I've been excited to watch AEW just because it's something different, and I'm all about different. I saw that match getting set up, and I saw it advertised on the lead-in to Dynamite today, and I was like, I think this could be a good match. And especially with Moxley wanting Lionheart for his next match. He doesn't want the Demo God. He doesn't want the Painmaker. He doesn't want the... He
doesn't want the Clown or whatever he's going as nowadays.
The Wizard.
Jericho, the Wizard. That was it, the Wizard. Because Jericho, he's such a legend in the business because he's able to, he had the Lionheart in New Japan. Then you had, the Man of 1,004
WCW.
And WCW. Then you had the Man of 1,004 holes where, half of that list was armbar.
Armbars. You're being very generous saying half the list.
Well,
I think there are only two moves on the actual list.
Well, no, there were more than 2 moves because in between armbar was a different one. But then it was armbar.
Yeah.
Fujiwara twisting arm lock and then armbar. And it was said like that too.
It was.
The head corkscrew neck twist. And then number 363, armbar. One of my favorite Chris Jericho promos of all time. Because it's just so ridiculous. Because they come back for commercial break and Tony Schiavone's Chris still in the ring talking about his holds.
And we have Chris Jericho still in the ring talking about all of his holds.
So for an episode that just a minor thing, Ray, for an episode that we wanted to say about what we weren't watching, it's more about what we are watching. And maybe we'll talk about what we aren't watching, but I don't know. We're having so much fun talking wrestling. This is great.
We are, but we do talk more than wrestling here at the BJD Podcast, where you can follow us on twitch.tv/the BJD Pod, or you can also go to youtube.com and in your search bar type in the BJD Podcast, and your searches will lead you to us. We do not have enough subscribers at the moment to get a custom URL. We need your help. It is free 99. Free 99 for you to go to YouTube, find us, subscribe to us, like us, and share and tell your friends and family members about us and how good we are. Because we're good. And we know it.
We're good. We're apparently, for some commenters, we're also horny.
Well, that goes back to you. That's all on you. So anyway.
Well, I'm covering the daddy portion of the podcast. I mean, come on.
Listen, there's nothing wrong with it. I didn't say there was anything wrong with it. Coming in from Twitch, funny story. During commercial, he was bashing the local sports teams to get the crowd booing. That is genius.
Well, where's Dynamite tonight?
The Ohio State University.
Oh, well, that's easy.
Yeah.
All you got to do is just go and say, hey, the Wolverines beat your ass every single year. Well, actually, no, you can't really say that because that doesn't happen that often.
But it happened last year.
It happened last year, but when did it happen before?
Doesn't matter. It happened last year.
I know.
The last game they played against the Wolverines, they got torched, and that's okay.
Oh, excuse me. How close is Columbus to Cleveland? Well, I guess it really doesn't matter because you can go after Cleveland sports teams where your baseball team in Cleveland couldn't stand their old name, so they had to change it to some type of guardianship.
Mm-hmm.
You can go and make fun of the fact that the Cavs suck since LeBron left.
Oh, no, we know.
Oh, you were talking about WCW? I thought you were talking about tonight.
Oh, no, I knew where he was. I knew where that comment was going.
Why did you stop me? Oh, I know why you didn't stop.
I know, because yes, and what about that football team in Cleveland, Kev?
Oh, you mean the
because you were just talking about how the Guardians were so bad.
There was one adult in the room. So instead of getting a guy that is more of an adult than anybody just because he plays video games all the time and is an avid Halo fan, let's go and trade him away and get rid of him. And instead, let's get the adult in the room and have the guy have almost 30 cases of sexual assault opened up that he settled 24 of. And then, by the way, you're going to pay him the most money in NFL history. And when he's suspended for 6 games because apparently Calvin Ridley betting on NFL games when he's a non-active participant in the NFL. Shame on you. That's bad, bad, bad. But Deshaun Watson of the Cleveland Browns, 6 games when he's asking for a happy ending after each and every massage that he goes to in Houston.
Oh, I think you're being far too kind. I don't think he was asking.
Oh, there were a few that he wasn't asking, that he was demanding or placing the hand over. Fuck off, NFL. And then today, coming out that they're appealing the 6-game suspension. I'm seeing right through that bullshit. I know.
Well, now hold on.
No, shut up.
What? No. Whoa. No. Watch your mouth.
No.
How?
I'm going.
Why? Why are you so upset?
I am like Bluto in Animal House. Forget it. He's rolling. So now the NFL today is going, oh, look, we're going to appeal the suspension because we want this to be an indefinite. No, motherfucker. You want to go and look like the good guy and they have the PR boost before the NFL season to get more people to go and watch.
That's what I was waiting for.
See this finger right here? This for you, Roger Goodell. I still remember the shit you pulled on Brady. I still remember the shit you pulled on Bill. Go fuck yourself, you goddamn clown. Okay? I ain't watching the NFL.
That's what I was. I wanted people to understand why you were so upset about the news that came out today. I wanted to make sure that you got in the fact that they had said that they weren't going to appeal it. And then after hearing the outcry of the fact that it was only 6 games, come out today and go, no, we're going to appeal that.
I'm going to have to listen to another podcast on Thursday or Friday, whatever day his drops.
Oh, are you talking about the Plague Doctor?
Yes, I'm talking about the Plague Doctor and his podcast.
The Plague Doctor, who is also co-host of the CD Podcast over on the SLG Network. He's a good friend of our show, good friend of ours. Mm-hmm. He's been keeping these comments going right along. Oh, no, he actually said his is tomorrow. So the CD's podcast... Well, I
said Thursday or Friday. I couldn't remember which.
No, I said Friday.
Oh, okay.
Because that's what I thought it was. He said, don't plug my shitty podcast. I'm plugging his shitty podcast, folks. You need to go take a listen and take a watch to CD's podcast over on the SLG Network. They have a Twitch. They have a YouTube. The YouTube is youtube.com/the SLG Network. Costs you nothing to like and subscribe, and it does a ton for the SLG Network and CD's podcast and all of the other podcasts that they have, the Bayou City Boys. I am drawing a blank on all of the other ones. Holy shit.
So you said CD's podcast, Bayou City Boys.
Yep.
They also have Sports with Rich Mancuso. That's a new one. They have the Around the Rose podcast, which is the pro wrestling one.
Yep.
There was at one point, one of the hosts in the Bayou City Boys, Caleb, had his own personal one.
Yeah, anyway, tomorrow, go listen to CD's podcast. They don't know shit about fuck over there.
Yes.
Over on the SLG Network. But they do
It is what it is with Caleb. That was it.
That's what it was.
Why am I drawing a blank? Well, the reason I'm drawing a blank is because it's a Bill Belichick quote.
It is what it is.
It is what it is. By the way, Bill over Tom is completely dead. Tom over Bill. Tom Brady won.
Yeah.
Even
speaking
Tom Brady was talking, getting to it.
Okay.
Tom Brady was talking with the Miami Dolphins about possibly joining the team after his contract was up. Yeah, in the letter of the law when it comes to the NFL and tampering stuff, yeah, Brady should probably be suspended for this. He shouldn't be engaging with the team while he's under contract with the current team.
However,
for years, he took the hometown discount because of his draft position. This is what was said by Bert Breer of Sports Illustrated and the Monday Morning Quarterback. And somehow when the Patriots, Bill Belichick, and Kraft by extension, even though Kraft was the one that said no, Brady over Jimmy G, which was obviously proven right if you've listened to other podcasts.
Mm-hmm.
When it comes to this, it like... They went to that well one too many times, and Brady said, nah, fuck you.
Yeah, exactly what it was.
That's what it was. The Bill and the Patriots went to that well of, it's okay, Tommy will go and take the discount like he always does, and then we'll be able to go and sign the most players to be able to do it. But instead, Bill wasn't doing that. He was signing shit because, well, Tom, if you're so good, do what Peyton Manning could do and make Dallas Clark an all-pro tight end. When before, he really wasn't. And after he was signed away from the Colts to
Denver.
Something. I can't remember what. I think Denver, that was it. He wasn't the same.
No, so here's my thing.
Tom over Bill.
So, should Tom Brady receive any sort of punishment, even though it was the Dolphins who initiated contact on several occasions?
But because Brady obliged to that contact instead of going, no, I play for the Patriots. He was engaging in the conversations as well. So, yeah, he probably should go and get in trouble for that. He's not going to, probably because Roger Goodell, number one, would have Dave Portnoy up his ass again at 345 Park Avenue in New York City. But you also would probably have the entire NFL going, okay, look, you got after him for Deflategate, which was proven to be wrong. So now you're going after this, which is technically right, but why are you going for this when it's been 3 years?
Mm-hmm.
And tonight, while picking up dinner with my dad, we were talking about this. And, you know, the whistleblower has to be Brian Flores. And I said the reason...
Oh, without a shadow of a doubt.
Exactly. And the reason that Brian Flores did go and say something
with a tear in my eye
is not because this is the greatest moment of my life. No, it's not. The reason that Brian Flores said anything, and this is what I think is how it went, it wasn't when he got fired from the Miami Dolphins. It was when Bill texted Brian Flores saying, hey, congrats, Brian, on getting the Giants job. And Flores goes, Bill, you talking to the right Brian?
Yeah.
I think that was when, oh, that motherfucker Stephen Ross thinks that he's, oh, the Giants, I'll fucking show them. Hey, Roger. By the way, you want to tell how old somebody is? Tell them how to go and hold a phone. Most people, kids nowadays will do this. We do this. I got something for you at the end of the show, Ray. You're not going to like me.
Oh, boy.
But
that's what she said.
It's like phrasing. You know, but like, hey, Roger, I got some dirt with Steven.
Phrasing.
Bingo.
Phrasing.
I don't know if bingo is phrasing. I mean, well, you know what? No, there's actually a funny meme about like what white people say when they come at the end of sex, when they orgasm.
Oh no!
Like, you know, yeah, no. One of them is bingo. It's like, oh,
like, who does?
Not me. There's a new TikTok.
Emotional damage.
There's a new TikTok trend going around that shows like a puppet Shaggy from Scooby-Doo, which actually, with the announcement coming up soon, I don't really want to. Oh fuck. Anyway.
You started the train. You might as well bring it to the station.
Yeah, no, we'll get to the announcement in a second. But so, like I was saying, there's a TikTok trend right now of Shaggy, like puppet Shaggy, with like a saltine cracker around him.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I've been white before, but I've never been called a cracker. And look, I'm sorry, like. I don't go and say, you know, like, oopsie. Like, one of the things on this list of what white men say when they orgasm is apparently, whoopsie-doo, here comes the goo. And it's like, oh my God, are they 12?
No, I refuse to believe this list.
Like, no, this list had to have been like, you know, you asked a bunch of like prepubescent frat boys in college who were like, we're gonna fuck with this list. Whoopsie doo, here comes the goo. Yeah, shots for everybody, yeah.
Yeah, so pretty much Animal House.
Yes.
Okay, gotcha.
But not as cool.
No. Clearly not as funny.
Animal House was great, you know. Like, did they give up when the Germans bombed Pearl Harbor? Germans, forget it. He's rolling.
So true.
I love that because, like, it's like, you know, it's not the German, or you know, right before then, the dean comes in with all of their GPAs. John Blutarski, 0.0, and Bluto just goes, not bad.
Not bad.
And then you find out, like, as they're giving up, you understand why he has a 0.0, because the Germans didn't bomb Pearl Harbor, but no one's going to tell him no, because he's rolling.
He's rolling.
I'm so glad one of our tags on Twitch is ADHD. Holy shit.
Yes, well, because, you know, we understand mental health.
and the fact
we
that
roll with
I'm
it.
just going to be one gigantic train that splits into 10 different train cars that go in all sorts of different directions but never actually end at their destination. Yet somehow we end at the destination.
It's never about the destination, it's always about the journey.
Yeah, well, whatever fucking journey this is on, like, I
didn't say it was a good journey. I just said it's all about the journey.
Well, let me tell you something. Yesterday, some of the kids I work with at the good old Malwart is
The superstore.
They're wrestling fans. So one of them goes and asks me, "Oh, how when did you start becoming a fan?" I'm like, "It was 2002. I was like 11 years old." Like, I wasn't even born in 2002, and I'm in my head going, "Oh, good Lord, I don't like where this conversation's going. I want off this crazy ride."
Dude, we had talked about this briefly as well. Dude, I remember seeing Roddy Piper hit Jimmy Snuka with the coconut, right? But that wasn't what got me into wrestling. What got me into wrestling was Killer Khan green misting Outback Jack in the middle of a match. That's what got me into wrestling. That's what got me hooked because it terrified the shit out of me. I was scared of Killer Khan after seeing that.
It wasn't 2002 was when I finally became a fan. Like when I started watching pro wrestling full time, it was because of Unforgiven 2002, and largely I actually should go and say that it was because of Tough Enough back in 2002 on MTV.
Okay.
That would led into Sunday Night Heat at 7 p.m. led into Tough Enough at 8 p.m. and we would watch that because it was a reality TV show that showed athletic stuff. And then eventually we started catching on to the wrestling stuff, and then Dad decided, yeah, let's go and buy that. I worked a couple of details. I got some extra money. Let's go and buy this, at the time it was $30 for pay-per-view, which, oh my God, it was awesome. Let's go and watch this pay-per-view, Unforgiven. And at the end of the night, Undertaker, Brock Lesnar, Biker Undertaker, versus Brock Lesnar for the WWE Championship. And you have the Undertaker, bam, under Brock Lesnar's head, and he lifts the chair up on camera. And you see this big-ass dent in the seat. I was hooked from that point on.
Mm-hmm.
And, it was getting stronger the longer the night went. But that was the point where I was hooked. But that was not my first exposure to pro wrestling. My first exposure was at my step-grandfather's camp with my cousin, where he showed me a tape with who I didn't know at the time was Yokozuna. I just called him Big Fat Sumo Guy.
I mean, understandable.
Big Fat Guy. Because I was 4.
Yeah.
But he showed me that tape. Now, my parents came in, and because I was 4, my younger brother at the time was 3. It was the summer. They didn't want us watching pro wrestling because they didn't want us repeating the moves to each other around the house and possibly breaking a wall or furniture.
Meaning they didn't want you breaking your brother.
Well, yes, or my brother breaking me.
Well, you were the older one, so...
Oh, no, he was, for a long time, he was the quote-unquote stronger one because he didn't hold his strength back.
Oh.
Most atypical people are
atypicals.
Not neurotypical, atypical. They're
able
to hold back on their strength. Those who are not atypical, they can't. Or they don't realize that they're not. So, those fucking punches hurt.
Gotcha.
But that's the most I'm going to say about that. But that was my first exposure to pro wrestling, then obviously 2002, and it just went from there. And it was actually kind of fun to go and talk with some of the kids at work yesterday about it.
Oh, listen, wrestling perspectives... Sorry, wrestling perspectives are always fun to get as long as it's not like most of the IWC. But if you can have a genuine conversation about wrestling, like when did you become a fan, what made you a fan, when was the first time you saw it, that can be really awesome. Because then you're like, dude, I remember that. And you're looking at it possibly from an older perspective, and they're looking at it from a younger perspective, or, vice versa.
One of the things they went and asked me was, did you remember a wrestler who, this was their words, who killed his whole family and then himself? Now, we're not actually going to name this wrestler, but I went and said, I do remember that. I said, I remember I was shocked when I found out about that. The whole family. And I'm like, and I thought it was like a murder investigation. And yes, Plague Doctor's correct. The IWC is the worst part of wrestling. We could talk about that on a different day. When I told them when I was watching that, towards the end of that Monday Night Raw tribute show to CB, it was a different vibe. Like it did not sound like it was a big tribute show anymore. That like there were not as many testimonials. Like it was not like Eddie. It was not like Owen. It was not like Brody Lee. And then as soon as I said Brody Lee, one of them goes, "Oh, that one saddened me so much because like nobody knew what he died from." I went, "Yeah, that's why I was so sad at that, because it was all of a sudden he's gone." And it's like, wait, what?
Yeah. I still
like Vin Scully, Bill Russell over the weekend for us Boston fans. That hurt. Paul Sorvino that we mentioned last week.
Lieutenant Uhura.
Lieutenant Uhura from Star Trek. Tony Dow from Leave It to Beaver. But all those ones that we just mentioned, that like Vince Scully was 94. Bill Russell was 88. They lived a long, full, successful life. Brody was, 42? With
41 or 42.
2 young boys and a very loving wife.
By all accounts, he was a very loving individual as well.
Yeah.
And not just towards his family, but just in general. People liked being around him, and they loved being in his energy.
As like this good dude, And it's like the phrase, "Why do the good die young?" How come the bad ones are always the one to stick around? And it's like, I understand, I get it,
because it makes the good ones that much more special when you come across them.
I'm
going to put this comment on screen from Plague Doctor. Brody left us with a masterful run, and luckily we got to appreciate him in that capacity.
And I went and said it yesterday too. Like, look, I said to them, like, Brody was able to do what Brody Lee wanted to do. He wasn't under the shackles of a different style of creative.
Right.
Now, to run a full circle back to Plague Doctor's comments about Logan Paul and Triple H, Triple H went and said, when he was asked on taking WWE in a new direction without Vince McMahon, he said the opportunity to take the WWE in a direction, like this is what he wants, in a direction that it has never gone before, is massive. And to the point where 2.3 million people tuned into Monday Night Raw this past week.
That's a huge number.
That's the highest rating since the first pandemic episode, because it's the first one. People want to know what's going on. Right. The pandemic. I tuned into the first pandemic SmackDown because it's like, how are they going to do this? I tuned in, not live because I work, but I tuned in on Hulu. And now one thing is I wish the ratings would include Hulu and streaming and DVR, because I'm sure that will be a much bigger number. But I tuned into Hulu because I want to see how this goes.
Absolutely.
I thought it was as I said yesterday to the kids I work with, it was a very cohesive, start to finish, good, great episode. And I'm going to read this comment here. I'm not going to show it because it's a lot. From the Plague Doctor, Monday's show on USA Network drew an average audience of 2.3 million viewers and a 0.6 rating in the key adults 18 to 49 demographic, according to Nielsen figures. That represents a 2-year viewership high for Raw and an improvement of 21% in viewership and 20% in the key demo versus last week, or last week's Raw, which was technically the first Raw post Vince McMahon, with 1.9 million and a 0.5 rating.
That's huge.
Yeah.
I mean, for people who are new to this, it may not look all that huge to them off just looking at it off rip, but as wrestling fans, and especially when there's competition, you're constantly having the ratings nailed to your fucking forehead. And to see that, and especially knowing that Raw's been struggling as of late, to see that 2.3 million people, that's huge. A 0.6 rating in the key demographic, again, that's huge.
Now, back to 2002, when I came in, Raw and SmackDown had an average at that point of 3 to 4 million people viewing. 4 to 5 million people viewing their shows. Obviously down from the high of like 8 to 10 million people watching Monday Night Raw in the height of the Attitude Era.
Right.
But like, and for Plague Doctor's most recent comment, and also Raw was a 3-hour banger this week. For me on Hulu, it's an hour and a half. They take away the commercials and they also take away a couple of segments. Like I missed the segment of Seth Rollins in a backstage interview where it looked like he lagged in real life. Mm-hmm. I thought that was great. I'm like, why did they skip this one? This was excellent. This speaks to my gamer heart. Like I love the TikTok videos of when real life lags. And it's like you see a guy jump on the bed and he doesn't actually hit the bed, he hits the floor. It's like, oh, my heart.
It's so true. Sorry, I was taking a drink of water. It's so true. Watching people lag in real life, but that's a topic for another show. So, Kev, you said that there was an announcement. There was a big thing. Big thing. You said big. You said big.
I don't think I said there was a big announcement.
Oh no.
Oh, wait.
All right. Well, folks, you have a fantastic night. Thank you for tuning in.
No. There was a big announcement. There's an entirely big announcement. Huge announcement. Like, it's huge.
Huge.
Right? Like, New York style huge. Want to know what that announcement is?
What announcement is that?
Folks, just to let you know, in 8 years, the 1980s will be 50 years ago. Until we meet again.
I fucking hate you. As an 80s baby, I fucking hate you. I don't want to do this show anymore.
That was not the announcement. That was just an excuse to go and use my Skeletor voice.
Yeah. The words still hurt, Kevin, whether they were a joke or not.
Well, hey, did you go and hear about the man who tried to go and 80s babies ha?
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Ray, did you hear about the man who tried to start an erectile dysfunction group?
Oh, God, no, Kev, I did not.
Oh, well, it was a big flop.
Oh, God.
Dad joke zingers. I got him.
Oh, you
and I'm not even the dad.
Oh my God.
Ray is never gonna go and do a dad joke. Me, I got you covered.
I will. Sometimes I'll break one. I'll break them out. But no, you are definitely the king of dad jokes out of the two of us.
I mean, the best one I have is one that I heard it was called Sergeant Camp up in New Hampshire.
Uh-huh.
No, the dad joke
coming in from Twitch is the dad joke, the damn announcement.
No, it is not, but we are getting to that. But before I get to that, so at Sergeant Camp, I heard this one from one of like the counselors of camp people or whatever it was.
And you're talking about
erectile dysfunction. Well,
he said, "I'm on the edge of my goddamn seat here, and now you're talking about erectile dysfunction."
Well,
Blue Chew and hymns.
I hope it's ribbed for your pleasure.
Hey-o.
So, anyway, the joke that I heard that I still say to this day is: a man walks into a bar, he says, "Ow." Yeah, I had to look down and go and see your face, like understand what the joke was.
Folks,
and it's like,
folks, I don't want to be here anymore, folks. I want to go back to my timeline.
Oh, you want off this crazy ride too?
I want to go back to my universe, to my timeline, please. Good God.
I'm leaving.
And
no,
we're losing viewers.
Don't leave.
Boo this man.
Oh, I wish I had that sound clip. That was a good one.
Boo this man.
Boo.
Oh, good God.
I gotta get an actual soundboard working.
Things, small things. Small things.
Yes, small things. Small potatoes, small potatoes. No, so anyway, the big, huge announcement is going to come from Ray. Take it away.
Ladies and gentlemen, it has been our pleasure coming to you from the BJD studios. However, starting in a week or so, I would like to announce that the BJD Podcast will be emanating from the SLG Network studios. For the fans, by the fans. That's right, folks. The BJD Podcast is going to be working in conjunction with the SLG Network. You will then be able to find us on all SLG socials as well as our socials. Also, there are going to be more announcements coming down the pipe. There is going to be a new podcast. We're going to keep tight-lipped on that podcast, but folks, I'm telling you, you're going to want to tune in, and you will be notified when that new podcast is ready to drop. Plague Doctor, I want to thank you very much for sticking with us for these past 2 hours and chilling with us and making sure our comment section is always bumping. And like you said in your last comments, let's fucking go.
Let's fucking go. Now, that does not mean that the BJD Podcast will not stream live to our own Twitch. We will still stream here on the BJD Pod at twitch.tv/BJD Pod. We'll still have our Twitter account. We'll still have our YouTube where the VOD will go up at midnight after, or actually it might be a little bit later than midnight because I got to do a couple of editing things. But it will go up after we're live on Twitch. We're still going to be able to do that, but we're also going to upload everything to the SLG Network. So their Twitch, their YouTube, I think their Facebook and Twitter, I think they do that.
Yeah, they've got a little bit of an issue with their Facebook that they're working out right now, but it should be good to go within the next couple days.
Yeah. And if we don't, like my thing is, Facebook is good and all, but YouTube and Twitch are really where the money should be going to. But that's my opinion on that, and obviously that's definitely an opinion that's out there in general. Fuck Eye of the Tiger.
Can we get some context with that? Like, do you
now I got
want to play Eye of the Tiger? Are you amped like Eye of the Tiger? Because I get amped when I hear Eye of the Tiger.
It's the Eye of the Tiger. It's the thrill of the fight. I don't know the rest of the words.
Oh, that's why. Oh, okay. That makes sense. That's why they were having issues with their Facebook, Eye of the Tiger.
Yeah. Which is the reason why I didn't go and post more in the Vince Scully tribute video.
Yes. Because we do not have the express written consent of Major League Baseball.
Now, Plague Doctor,
All right, listen, now you're kind of treading some water here, bud.
No, like, you can have your opinion about that, and we have our opinion about it too.
Yeah, our opinion is just that your opinion is wrong.
Yeah, well, yes, everybody's allowed to have their own wrong opinion. So, yeah, that is the big announcement.
That is our breaking news announcement, folks.
BJD Podcast will be still here, but also on the SLG Network page.
And I hope that everybody that is watching, and I hope that everybody that is listening will also take the journey over to the SLG Network to check us out, check out any new podcasts that might be dropping after our addition to the SLG Network. And while you're there, bro, check out all of the shows on the SLG Network. Check out CD's podcast. Check out the Bayou City Boys, Around the Ropes, It Is What It Is with Caleb. Like, these are all good, solid dudes with great, fantastic shows with awesome content. Except for CD's podcast, those guys know shit about fuck.
Yeah, exactly. And there's also YouTube exclusives that they go and have. There was a point, to give a little bit of real talk. We like the show. We like the show.
He's talking about his show.
Yeah, I know. But a little bit of, like, me and Ray were a part of the SLG Network, and we started this because, hey, we want to bet on ourselves, and we want to go and see how this goes. And it's gotten to the point where we're now going, back, and we're bringing this with us. This isn't one of those, like, we're leaving this dead in the water. We are bringing all that shit to them.
So is it safe to say that we Cody Rhodes ourselves?
Yeah, we Cody Rhodes ourselves.
We totally Cody Rhodes ourselves. Fucking awesome. I'm good with that.
Holy shit, we Cody Rhodes. Now, it's unfortunate that we're not going back.
Adrenaline in my soul.
Yeah, I have it playing in my head too. I have the pop that Cody got at WrestleMania playing in my head too.
Plague Doctor keeping our comment section alive single-handedly tonight.
Russell, something, Cody Rhodes. My father said, well, let me tell you something, baby.
He's getting the plunder from the ring. He's under the ring looking for the plunder.
Well, let me tell you something, Daddy.
Let me tell you something, Daddy. We're having way too much fun with this right now.
I am having way too much fun with this, I feel like I'm being nice. I don't want to be nice. I want to be evil.
And folks, that's going to wrap up episode 4 of the BJD Podcast. We hope that you enjoyed it. We hope you enjoyed listening and watching as much as we enjoyed bringing this to you. With that being said, I bid you a fond adieu. Kev, would you like to say goodbye?
Goodbye. See you later. Get out of here. Go home. It's over. Bye. See ya.